my latest demonstration right here. The 86 T-Top, Project T-Top SS, one owner. Got the Camaro wheels on it. Got the buckets in it. Shift on the floor. Kind of rough right now. Got the T-tops in it. Kind of rough. I'm gonna get her back in tip-top shape though. Got the 6.0 on the stand to put in the hard top coupe. Work down on that side as well, almost complete with the body work. It's got a couple of spots right here on the bottom of the door that we need to sand out and prime it in. And a little more sanding on the fender and prime it in. Hood, we gonna DA that as well. That's the original paint on there, single stage paint. It'll gum your sandpaper up. You'll be 3-4 hours sitting there sanding that by hand. So we gonna hit that with the DA as well. This front bumper, I'm gonna replace it. Replace the front bumper. This one here for sale. The guy's supposed to come and pick it up today, but you know how that go. Let me show y'all a little something under the hood. Show y'all a little something under the hood. This right here is what I'm gonna use for the cooling system. This radiator and fan come out of 05 Pontiac GTO. I'm an original type of guy, so instead of overthinking the situation, I like to use what's already been introduced to the situation. What I'm saying is, I'm putting a 6.0 in this car. 6.0. So why go around and trying to figure out what cooling system I'm gonna use in a car when I could just use a cooling system that already was compatible with the engine? 05 GTO came with a 6.0. So why not use the radiator and fans out of a car that already came with a GTO? Now, let me show y'all something with this radiator. This radiator right here is almost a perfect match to this Monte Carlo. I'm talking about in the bottom, it sit directly into the mounting spots where it sit at, where the original radiator sit at in this car. So what I did was, my old fan shroud right here, I cut it. And I was gonna use it, but it's a little bit too loose because I was going a little too fast when I was cutting it. So I'm gonna order aftermarket fan, the shroud to hold the radiator and the radiator support the hold the radiator in. I could have made this original radiator support the fan shroud. It was the fan shroud on the car originally. I cut the shroud part off. I could have made this work, but I was moving a little too fast and took a little bit too much off it. But I'm just showing you how close the GTO radiator and fan is to being a perfect fit for this car. It don't sit up over the radiator support like the F-body radiators do. So if you doing the LS swap, the GTO and the G-body, the GTO radiator and fans is almost a perfect fit to a G-body. All right, let me show y'all in the trunk. See that? That's the trunk. That's the spare tire tub that I put in. It's dusty in here right now, but that's like new. You can't even tell I cut the floor out of the trunk out of it and replace the spare tire tub. That's like new. It don't get no better than that for a 35, 36-year-old car. That's what the trunk looking like. That's the wing, nice and smooth. Fiberglass that and made the repair on that joker. Trunk closed like butter, baby. Trunk closed like butter. All the gaps lining up and everything. Another thing I'm about to show y'all. Like I see, I'm an original type of guy. So I like to go with stuff that don't need a whole bunch of modifying. This right here, what you're looking at, this here is that's the Harley motor mounts and the Harley cross member for dual exhaust, to run dual exhaust out on the G body. This stuff right here, it work. You ain't gotta do no. Just sit the trim pieces back in, just so I could make sure my measurements was good. Draw my little diagram up there on the top of the roof, so I could take my measurements. Passenger A-pillar is in there. Put a little weld through prime on it and put a couple of tacks on it. I don't want weld it in permanent yet until I get the driver's side in. But it's in there. Told y'all I was gonna bring y'all back a little update on it. Ain't that hard. All I did was drilled out all the spot welds on the old one. Cut the welds right here on this bracket. And that joker pulled right out of there. Let's all see what we got. Try this with one hand. Pick my little molding up. That's the new header panel in. I just sit these trim pieces in there just to make sure how my clearance was. Once I put my tops back in, make sure all my measurements right, because sometimes these aftermarket parts, they be slightly off. You gotta tweak them a little bit, but it went in there pretty good. It's pretty straight. The aftermarket part is pretty close to the OEM part that I took out of there. Take this top out. Got my little trim pieces falling in the car. But yeah, there it is there. You can see the rust in that one. See all the rust in there. Take y'all to the passenger side. Let y'all check out the new one. That's the new one. See, it's looking nice and good and straight. The top, the header panel, I ain't tacked that in yet. I want to wait before I tack it in until I buy the windshield. I put the trim pieces that go around the windshield, just put them in there and lined it up to make sure how it was fitting. And they fit pretty good, but just to be sure. See that header panel ain't welded in yet, but the A-pillar is welded in. You can see the metal on the lower header panel. It's good all the way through, and that's all we need. Put a couple of tacks on the passenger side. You can see that ain't going nowhere, and I ain't even got it all the way welded in. I just got like one tack right here under the bottom holding that. But as you can see, all the metal under the bottom is good. And I'm gonna wipe some of that rust encapsulator in there just to seal it off, to protect it down the line. Make sure it don't rust again. That's another reason why I ain't welding the T-top header panel yet. But yeah, YouTube, this where we at, man. This thing getting close to going to the paint booth. This the last big step of the project for his body. All the way across there, baby. Nice and pretty. Same way up here, all the way across there. I'm welded it in there, took care of it. I gotta fill these holes in because I had drilled it out. I was gonna use the regular welder where the metal was thick, where it was 3 pieces together. But shit, I said, let me try this spot welder and see if it'll weld through thick metal. Shit, that sucker, she went ahead and got the job done. So I'm gonna have to go back and fill them holes in. And then right here, where I couldn't get the spot welder, I need to weld that, but I ain't gonna do it today. I did a lot today. Got that in there. Once I started working on the YouTube, I couldn't stop. I didn't even plan on working on this thing today. Came over here on this side, had a few little imperfections I ain't like in the body work, so I went ahead and put a little glaze on there and took care of that. It looked like a lot of Bondo, but it's really not. You still can see the metal peeking through it. This quarter panel here, it was wrecked in its back right here. It kind of buckled the quarter a little too. Went ahead and took care of that. Got that done. What else we did today? Let y'all check out this side. As you can see, that spot welder, that spot welder, they made quick work out of this here. It's in there, baby. It's in there all the way. Backside and all, put a little weld through primer on there on both sides and rub the little rust encapsulator on in there in case any water ever get past it. Try to preserve it. Here go that little spot welder. This thing here worked it pretty good, man. Harbor Freight spot welder. Shit. Think that thing was like 160 bucks or something like that. It worked pretty good though, man. It worked pretty good. Now Willie Rebuild might bring it back. You know how we do it, Harbor Freight. Another little thing, as you can see on my factory A-pillars, you can see where we got the buttons at welded in, the little studs for the windshield molding. And on these A-pillars, that's why I really was waiting for I welded it in, because I was trying to figure out what I was gonna do about that. But as you can see on this side, we ain't got nothing on the header panel either. They didn't come with the studs. So what I did is I brought these here, they rivets. They rivets, but they make the stud for the windshield molding. So you can mount your windshield molding back in there. It's the little studs for that. Put that T-top in there for y'all. Let y'all see how pretty she lined up in there. Let y'all see how pretty she lined up in there, YouTube. Let y'all see how pretty she lined up in there. Look at that gap there, YouTube. That gap pretty there. Once you drop the molding, I ain't got the molding in there right now, but the molding gonna close up the gap. As you can see in the back, where I got the molding on that, them moldings coming out of there, I just put them in there so I could mark up once I weld it in. But as you can see, that gap looking nice and pretty, baby. Looking nice and pretty. We done got that out the way. Just gotta go back, fill in these little holes I put in there. I'm gonna go ahead and weld them closed and weld it down to the metal anyway, but it's already in there. I grind it out smooth and clean it up, make it look pretty. Go ahead and get this joker ready for prime. Prime that in and paint it. Take these doors off and prime them in. Prime the jambs in. Clean the jambs up. Clean the back of the doors up. And get it ready for paint, man. Old Project Redness, she done came a long way, man. I'm gonna make sure I put that video out there for y'all, so y'all can see how this thing was when I first got it, man. I done did a lot of work to this thing to get it to this point right here. She's solid now, though. We got a solid now, YouTube. Got a solid. Cut the cord out on this side. Put a patch quarter piece in on this side. You can't even tell. Just put a spare tire tub in it. Seal the trunk up with that rusted capsulator. Work this quarter here. She's straight too, YouTube. Y'all can't feel it, but I wish you could run your hand across that way. You could see how smooth Willie Rebuild got that joke in there. It's ready for primer and block sanding. It's a little bit more. I need to do a lot of block sanding. It's a little update on the Monte Carlo. See, I'm gonna get back on it. Knock that out. That's major progress right there. That T-top header panel and them 8 pillars, that's major. Y'all see it?
He just don't like the fucking job out there all the time. I know.
Y'all see it, baby. The shop line, JC 6700. Redness is out of primer. And in coat color, baby. Y'all see it? Y'all see it? Yes, sir. Y'all see it. Trying to stripe him on up in a minute after we buff it. Put the glasses back in. Put the front cap back on, baby. Need to take the injectors out. I just got them injectors in there temporary. My boy right here, he told me the car running like a tractor. He asked me if I'm going to ride on the phone with it. The guy over there. Y'all see him? I told him it's going to purr like a kitten, gang. The tractor? The tractor? Yes, sir, gang. We make it move. My boy, he over there, he's stuck in the mud. Talk about renegotiating. There ain't no renegotiating, man. Ain't no renegotiating. We don't renegotiate contracts. We cut your ass. You a free agent, nigga. Get your ass up out of here. You see what's going on. Short one for y'all today, gang. Cause it's late night and it's cold. And just in case you see the little spot, ain't nothing but a little fingerprints on there. We gonna water sand it down and buff it. Y'all see it? Yes, sir, gang. Y'all see it. Tomorrow we gonna flip all this shit over and paint everything off the car. And then I'm gonna come back and reassemble it. But in the meantime, I got other projects doing. That's why I came over here at nighttime, cause I got like 3 cars I'm doing at one time. But we about to knock it out, baby. By next week, she gonna be assembled. She gonna be assembled, and we gonna be making more progress, gang. We ain't stopping. I'm gonna keep my foot on the gas now. Keep my feet on the gas, baby. Y'all see it? Y'all see it? Yes, sir. Got 81 Chevy gang over here with me.
You already know we're in the building, baby.
He trying to see what's going on.
Hey, y'all want y'all shit wet? Come out here to Corsicana, man. That boy gonna get y'all rizite.
That go the man y'all need to see right there. At Welding. Y'all seen him in the video with the lifter failure. He ain't no mechanic, but he can paint. He don't do no mechanics. You gotta talk to Willie Rebuild for the mechanic. And him right here, we gonna fire him after the night. The tractor man. he gonna run the food truck. Food truck shorty. You fired. Me, foreman, you fired. I'ma take him for a ride. He talking shit, gang. Got some runs back here in the back. Take care of that with the water, sand, and buff, baby. Built, not bought, baby. Built. Built, baby, by Willie Rebuild, baby. Over and out. Putting him back together. Still shining like a diamond without the water, sand, and buff, baby. It's about 2 weeks after we painted. Clear coat still shining, as you can see. Straight out the gun, no buff. And I done went ahead and start assembling it back together. Couple of pieces, ain't got nothing but 1 or 2 screws holding it in. I just did that so I can put it on the trailer. But as you can see, I got the shit back together, man. Halfway back together anyway. A lot of this stuff is gonna come back off, like the front bumper is coming back off. I gotta put the headlights in back in the car. I ain't put the hood latch on the hood or the spring. I gotta clean stuff like that up and paint it. But as y'all can see, the Willie Rebuild T-top situation is looking very pretty, baby. Now, I just sit it in there right now, the rubbers. I didn't glue them down or nothing like that. And I didn't put the trim back in that go along here. And I didn't put the trim that go back here either. That's because I gotta clean all that stuff up and paint it. So I was just mocking it up to see how it go before I go to trying to glue shit down and all that there. But everything is fitting pretty, just like it did when I put it in without the rubbers in it. Now, these rubbers, they is kind of bunky up here on the top, sticking out a little bit. But like I say, I didn't glue them down or nothing like that, so they probably will seat a little bit tighter. And once I put everything how I go in for final assembly. But what I did just now is I just put it in there to see what we was working with, gang. And boy, it's kind of tricky. It's kind of tricky to get them T-top, that center ridge and stuff back in there. I'm gonna have to go and buy some screws and stuff. But as y'all can see, I've been assembling, put the locks back in it, put the trunk lock back in, put the door lock back in. This handle here, it kind of stick out a little bit. But like I told Mike, this shit aftermarket, man. This shit not gonna work. This handle here, this an extra one I had. And as you can see, the stud back here started spinning. So I had put a little bitty scratch right there, fucking with this door handle. And Mike, he trying to get it to go and go and go. Man, fuck that shit. Leave that shit alone, man. You don't see what the pack say? made in Taiwan, man. This shit not original. It's not gonna fit perfect all the time. Sometimes you get lucky, and sometimes you don't. The door open and close, leave that bitch alone. They scratch the call up, worrying about a bullshit ass door handle that you never gonna get the line up straight because the door handle is not fabricated straight from the factory. So I left that on there. I might change it, I might not. It depends on how I feel. But as you can see, Rat Nest is all in one color. It's all in one color, gang. And we starting to do some assembly. Now, this stuff like this here, I'm gonna go back and paint it. The pieces that go on the side of the fender, I got all that. I gotta go back and paint the black parts on it. Just stuff like that, little knick-knack shit. I'm gonna get around to doing that, but I'm not gonna put the stripes back on the car until I buff it. So right now I'm just trying to get the car back in one piece where I ain't got shit scattered all over. I wanna get this shit out of my garage and get this shit out the house and shit. And just like that, gang, 3.5 years later, this the condition old Rat Nest in. She's still not 100% done, but I done went ahead and put a dash cover in it, put all the seals in it. As you can see, all the rubbers is in. Console over there on the side, put new carpet in. You basically got a brand new car. Put new suspension under it. Still have to order upper door panels. Got to get the seats done. Went ahead and put the Armani Forge wheels, 24s on it with the floating caps. Got the seats right here for it, front seats. Got the rear seats over there on the wall. Got the console right here. I pulled it out because I need the fiberglass. The little mountain tab for it. And 3.5 years later and thousands of dollars later, this where it's at. Car still never been water, sand, and buff. Got orange peel in it. Got runs in it. Got some trash in the paint. But nothing that a cut and buff can't take care of. So y'all seen the condition that Rat Nest was in. This just motivation for you to see that you can do it yourself. I basically built this whole car myself. The only thing I didn't do was paint it. I did all the body work on it, me and Mike. It got a few minor imperfections in the body work, but when you look at where the car came from and where it's at now, I mean, I think I did a good job for somebody that's taking on this type of job for the first time. As you can see, all new rubbers. And like I say, it's still a work in progress. I'm looking to have it completed, 100% completed in the next few months. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. We're gonna have more content coming for Rat Nest later, gang. Over and out.